Hi there guys, my name's EarthToLydia.
And I'm HOTHEMAN at HOTHEMAN.
And welcome back to Off Topic. This week we're having a pretty serious discussion. We've already spoken about this before on the live stream. Kev, it's over to you to talk about it.
So they can tell from the title down below now, because YouTube constantly changing it. So, in the live stream we talked about some of the topics going on to do this year. So Orange is the New Black, bullshit, a lot of bullshit. Mainly a lot of bullshit. 12 episodes of bullshit and 5 specials. And depression. And depression is something that it's starting to be more. It's starting to be people are used to and can talk openly about problems they have. And I have this huge theory about YouTube, and I'd love for input from everyone. So my theory on YouTube is, and it's not. It's like it's just a theory. The best people and the most recognized people on YouTube, and the ones I watch specifically, have admitted to having some kind of neurological, psychological problem. Just they have this little extra. And it seems the YouTubers I love the most have admitted to having depression, anxiety, and all these things. And I think that is something that you need. Like, think of all the people like Stephen Fry, bipolar. Is such a funny guy. It's people with problems and things they hide away. Is they used somewhere else. They feed it somewhere else, and they let people know, and they have people to understand and give feedback and understanding what they have and what they might be going through. So, I have depression. So I know loads of people with depression and paranoia and schizophrenia and borderline. These are just people I know. My mom always says, "Can you not just find a normal friend? Doesn't have any problems." So I have paranoia, depression, and since April, anxiety. That's awfully fun. So when I get paranoid and depressed, there's triggers, and everyone has triggers when it comes to I write and I listen to audiobooks, and if I don't do either one, that's when it's like a trigger that I don't have the patience or the drive to do these things I would love to do. Like, love writing, and if I'm not writing, it's a trigger for me that I had to be aware of. My friend Kate, who's been on the show before, can tell when I'm not in good places, when I'm not doing these things, and she knows, oh, what's going on, are you alright? Then there's things of being the counsellors, and like there's always help out there, and the best way of getting out there and helping is just looking for the help. You could go to, like the last time I went to a counsellor because of anxiety, I didn't know, I had to get explained, but now thinking of mindfulness and doing this mindfulness training, where it's just be in the moment, not in the past, not in the future. What if I did that and this? What if I do this? Would I have this job? Would I have all this money? Living the right now, in the present, like right now, this second, worrying about now, not a week from now, and not from now, a few days from now. So I have triggers, and I know other people's triggers, but mainly what happens when I have depression at the time, I talk a lot. I talk all the time, and Lydia can count that I will just text every single source of media just to talk.
I was gonna say, I think the biggest thing about depression and anxiety and other sorts of mental disorders along those kind of lines is worrying about the future. The future's the biggest problem. For me personally, it was about getting on a very dark note here, but for me personally, right before I got diagnosed with depression and anxiety, I hit a really, really bad point in my life, and it would get to a point where I was almost willing myself to not see a future for myself. I would sit there and I'd think, I'm in a job, because at the time I was in a different job. I wasn't happy with where I was going. I was completely miserable. I was thinking, okay, I am not earning enough to move out of my house, but I'm overworked to the bone. I don't see my friends because I'm working all the time. Everything was down to how I was working, and I didn't see any progression or my life going anywhere. I didn't see me moving up and taking, not taking over, but having more control, more authority, being able to manage other people or anything like that. I didn't see myself working my way up the ranks like a normal person would in a normal, working environment. You're supposed to see progression for yourself. It's natural. You're supposed to see yourself working your way upwards instead of just staying on a level plane or even working downwards. And I would sit there and think, and I was almost tormenting myself, just thinking over and over and over again, where are you going to be in the future? You're not going to be anywhere different. It's those voices in your head. I was like, you're not going to have a job anywhere other than this. And then it got down to the point where I genuinely didn't see a future for myself whatsoever. That was where it got for me. It's a lot to do with the future. It's all about your perspective, and that's, the whole well-being and living in the moment thing. It's crucial because you focus so much on the future that it does literally drive you crazy.
Well, I find with Lydia, if she's having a low, the best thing is there is places out there, and there's always places. Like last time I went to a counsellor just to find out what's going on with anxiety. I spent the whole time talking about marketing with him for 6 weeks.
Ah.
It's because it's with counselling. How it works is you're either there to talk to someone who doesn't know your problems, so you can talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And I did 6 hours of talking, and having really good. Like I've been to counsellors over the last few years, and some have been good, some have been okay, and the last one's been really good because it's remembering what I'm like before I have a low, and remember depression isn't forever. It's nothing's forever really. It comes and goes, but you just had to know what to look for. So when I have it, I talk a lot, and I had to talk to people. I remember when I injured my knee a few months back, and just after finishing talking to Lydia, it was the worst low I had in about a year. Like I had about a year with no lows, and I had this horrible low, and just trying to talk to everyone. It was mainly because I was I hurt my knee. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't really walk anywhere, so I was by myself in my room, in my head. I should never be in my head. You should always be going outside doing exercise. So the best things for depression, anything like that, is mental exercise, cycling, swimming, anything to keep your mind busy. You just do. It's great because it releases endorphins and all these things into your head, and it makes ah. But what I found with Lydia is if she has a low, she gets quiet.
I do, yeah. That's like my biggest thing for me. I tear myself away from any form of communication with anybody else. A lot of people go through it, but I stop looking at my phone. I don't log into Facebook. I don't log into Skype. I'll maybe play a few games just on offline mode on Steam. Maybe not even do that. Maybe just go to YouTube and watch videos on shit that I really don't care about for hours and hours on end, or binge watch a new TV show that I don't give a shit about. And I've got to be honest, I've been doing that lately. I've realized that I've sunken back down again, mainly because I've been coming off my medication. So not at the discretion of my doctor either. I don't advise anybody do it, but I have been coming off my medication in what I guess is an unhealthy way. I've just not been taking it. I've been forgetting to take it. What I thought before was a level mindset when I was on my medication. I thought, I'm not happy all the time. I'm just sort of neutral. It's making me slip sort of back down again. However, I will just take something whenever I'm feeling particularly down, because when I get really down, then all the sorts of thoughts and like weird urges and stuff comes back. And that's, then I need to snap myself out of it. I need to realize what I'm doing. I need to not be dependent on anyone other than myself. I need to get myself out of the funk. Yeah.
Yeah, we got the funk.
Yeah.
We got that funky stuff.
Yeah. Play that funky music, white boy.
Yeah, like in Ireland, we have a month. We have a week as well in September, I believe. But the month of March is Mental Awareness Month, and there's a green ribbon. And I this year got the green ribbon tattooed on my leg, just because the people I know who've gone through stuff, the things I've gone through, and the things people in the future are gonna go through. But anxiety is a very common thing of people in the 20s. Mm-hmm. People, male, female, in the 20s. I know a lot of teenage women go through a lot of... It's mainly because it happens when periods start happening, your body's changing.
Yeah, your hormones go all out of whack, and it does affect your mindset, because essentially what controls your moods and everything is hormones. So everything being out of balance, I mean, what I've been on for the past couple of years actually now. I've been on SSRIs, which is serotonin reuptake inhibitors, and that serotonin's, it's a chemical that's released, and it helps to regulate your moods, make sure that you're staying on a sort of level playing field, everything's sort of regular. But in certain people, it can be absorbed back into your body too quickly. That's probably the completely wrong scientific way to say it, but that is essentially what happens. It's taken and broken down too quickly. And the reuptake inhibitors, it changes the actual... it changes the shape. It changes the shape of the chemical itself so that it can't be taken back up so easily. So it has to be broken down more over time. So instead of I know there are other sorts of antidepressants and such. Well, I say antidepressants, it's a very, that's a big umbrella term. It can be used for several things. There are other ones where they can basically flush you with serotonin and all sorts of things. But SSRIs are most commonly prescribed.
So they can tell by your sleeping pattern when it happened and what it is if you have depression and all this. So if you sleep all the time, the chemicals in your brain change when you're asleep, and if you're awake all the time, it happened when you're awake. I've never really talked to people. Well, obviously I know people with all these different things they have, but it's always counselors. The first thing counselor will ever say to you is the first step is admitting to it. Is making the phone call or making the appointment. And even if you think at the time, I remember I was talking to someone who's gone to counselling about something I thought was huge, and at the time my problems were huge. I found out a big secret. A friend died. Then someone tried to kill himself. So and loads of other things. I had a very bad few months. And so I was like to my friend, I was like, I'm going to counselling, and I thought I was going to get a lecture off him, and I was like, I know to other people it won't be big, but it's kind of big to me. He was like, even if it's nothing to you, it's huge. Now it's been a few years, 3 or 4 years since then. I'm not angry or upset or depressed about them things anymore. I've come to terms where I can't stop the person who died. The lie was there. It was, the cake was fake. The guy who tried to kill himself is doing much, much better because he got the help he needed. And yeah, and it's just you need to just be able to go, yeah, I think I have depression. I need to go. Even if you don't think you have depression, maybe you just need to go talk to someone. I've been taught last time I went to counselling, they advised me to go on medication. I'm not on medication. Because I've seen people lose their memories with it. Just no good memories. Just some good medication. It takes a while, trial and error. So literally not taking the medication is terrifying, because I know people not to take the medication and then to have a horrible low. Because when you start medication, you're most likely going to get a low in the first 6 weeks, or it takes 6 weeks to work, and then you get a low and you'll have a bad spell.
See, I was the complete opposite with me. I don't know what happened. I genuinely felt high the first time that I took it. Maybe it was a complete placebo. I felt high as fuck. It was unreal. I was completely off balance. It was just really weird. I noticed a dramatic change in my mood immediately from the moment that I took it, and it wasn't that big of a dose at all. But since then I've gone up a dose. They've had my dosage doubled, and it's, I've noticed as time goes on, the more it's starting to I'm starting to feel more sluggish again. I'm getting used to the medication, and that's why I'm sort of weaning myself off of it, because I'm used to it and I've leveled out. And that, to me, even though I know it's natural, people aren't going to be absolutely ecstatic all the time, and they do have the lows and they do have the highs. Even if you're not suffering with depression, then to me, I just thought, I'm not seeing an effect with my medication anymore. It's not working. I'm slipping back into depression again. And it's almost like I'd force myself back into depression as soon as I noticed it leveling out, and then obviously my dosage would go up, and that's why, when you become dependent on something like that, it's a bad sign. That's why, medication works for some people, counseling works for other people. I've been through both. First, it was just medication for me because I was too scared to go to a counselor. I thought that, you'd walk into a room and it would be this person that sits there and they're thinking, you're literally just another number to me. I'm getting paid to spend an hour with you. I don't care what you're talking about. And it took me the longest time. It took me the better part of a year to finally, after my mother actually found a counselor that was nearby, and a private counselor at that, to agree to going along. Because when I got, and I was really, really skeptical until I actually got there, and she was the loveliest person, just the loveliest person in the world. She'd sit there with me, she'd cry with me if I cried. She seriously helped me so much. My confidence was broken down in its entirety before I started to see her. I wouldn't even speak to new people. I wouldn't look at new people. I couldn't look people in the eyes that I'd known for years when I was speaking to them. I couldn't socialize at all. It was all bravado on the internet for me. That was the only form of communication I could have with other people. I didn't speak to anybody in high school. I was always the weird kid that got bullied for their weight or how they looked, or just because they were an easy target. And for me, counseling worked so much, and I've stopped going to counseling now because I've not needed it as much. My confidence has been regained, and my biggest thing was I wanted a new job. I've got a new job. And I'm still,
Yay was crap. So, yay.
I got back in touch with my counselor a couple of days ago to let her know how everything's going, and she was just like, I'm so proud of you. She was like, I'm really genuinely so happy for you. I'm so glad that you've accomplished the goal that you wanted. I think it's about, when you've got depression, baby steps. You need to come up with small little goals, achievable goals.
Yes, achievable goals, not like I want to win a bag of money.
I want to be an astronaut.
It's like, I know someone's baby steps was going outside. So instead of like, oh, I'm going to go outside and talk to everyone, just going outside to your garden for a few minutes and then going back in and building your confidence that you can go to the shop.
Yeah.
And then take a while and then be able to talk to the person behind the till at a shop. Like, it's great, like, baby steps, and be able to do realistic goals. Like, one of my counselors I had last year said, try to do something for you every day. Something, even if it's just talking to a friend, do something that you want to do to award yourself. So, anything, even small, he was like, just talking to someone, having, well, he would say, like, a cheeky smoke or something. I don't smoke. Cheeky smoke, something just to be happy for every day. Do something that will make
indulge yourself. I think for some people as well, it's, a lot of focus is put on, no, you need to be motivated. You need to get up and go out and do this. You need to be, nobody tells you that it's okay to feel bad sometimes. Nobody tells you that it's perfectly normal to have lows.
Human. It's so human to feel like this. Like, teenage girls, huge number of teenage girls have eating disorders, have cuttings, drugs. It's all because of the hormones in the body, and I think they're not. It's so common. It's unreal how common it can be. You'd be like, no way, that girl, no way. What? It's like you fucking don't. Like, I remember someone said, "Do you know that guy over there? Do you know him? Jeez. He's a diabetic." But it is huge in teenage girls to have them kind of disorders and them things, and it's just because of the bodies is changing. And in men, it's more in the 20s when anxiety is supposed to be very common when you're in your 20s for a male. Because it's not a male or female, it's a human problem that we all think we're the centers of our own universe, but really we're just another bunch of DNA who don't know. what my counselor said, it's flight. We are hardwired to fly or fly, fight or fly. But the situations you can't do either, and that's when your brain doesn't know what to do. So someone's gonna shoot you. Do you fight or do you fucking leg it? You leg it. But it's like, I've just lost my house. Can I do anything about it? Nope. Can't do anything in situations like that. And it's when you had to just go, fuck it. Just fuck it. Like, I remember my leaving set in secondary, no, my junior set, I got a weird stress. My stress was I got a cold at the start of the first test and was gone by the end of the test. I'd get colds. So I'd be sneezing and coughing all the way through my tests, but I'd be fine after it. So
really, that's just him covering up for the fact that he was cheating the whole time.
But when I got to my leaving cert, I just said, it doesn't matter. When time in 23, these results will not matter. I didn't study. I still came up, I think I was third or second in my class. It's just, all you had to do is pay attention. It's tests, piece of shit, easy peasy. Fucking, you just had to go on the test going, it doesn't matter if I fail it or pass it. I've just finished level 5 in retail practice. I got merits and distinctions. But I never stressed a single test because it was like this pointless to stress over something that you either know it, you don't know it. I've never studied because it's over the last few weeks I've been in class asking questions about this topic and now I have a test in front of me. If I know it, I know. If I don't know it, it's my own fault for not paying attention. I'm not going to spend up to 2 in the morning trying to cram this stuff in my head. If it's not in my head by now, it's not going to be in my head. So if I don't know it for the test, it's my own problem. I'm not going to study because it's pointless. I never thought studying was worth it. It's just not. And I know people are just like, oh, what the fuck? No way.
Yeah, you're going to fail. You're going to do terribly. Wow.
You'll do fine. You'll do fine. And think about it. How many tests have you ever got in life you're just like, I don't know it? And when every time you have a test, you should do one thing: read the whole paper. You'll read the first question, you go, oh fuck, I have no idea. Read the second one, oh god. But then sometimes the second question gives the answer to the first question because it was like, so what if this was? So you just read the whole test and you'll find out. Even if you have an hour, read the test a few times and you'll just realize it's like, actually I know nearly all of it. There'll be a few things. It's very rare to get 100%, but it's also very rare. It's if you don't give a shit, if you put the time in class, you find. But this is when you have the most problems, stressed out, people just cracking and having nervous breakdowns during tests. When it's the most stressful thing that will not matter in 3 years. Time you're 23, they don't care because if you went to college, that's all they want. If you have the experience, that's all they want. I've just finished a retail practice course. Nowhere wants experience. No one wants classwork and loads of theory. I don't have any practice. So I now work in a charity shop where I'm getting all the experience within a few days. And I have more experience than I did when I started. Like, I know how to use a till, but now I know how to deal with customers and awkward customers. And customers who rip the tags off things and change tags. And go to the changing room, rip the tags off and come in and go, give you €1 for that. I was like, no, I had to get the price. And go, oh, really? Yeah, 3 years. No, I'll be fine. And walk out. It's like, I know you ripped the tags off. You just when it comes to tests, don't worry about it. And it's a horrible thing for people to go, people only worry
your
if they have
whole
practice.
life does not depend on a test. No matter what you are told, your entire life is not determined by your grades. People don't know what they want to do when they're choosing what they want to study. People don't know for sure. I mean, very, very few people, like 10%, know what they actually want to do in like 20 years down the line. I still don't know where I want to end up entirely, but I mean...
Yeah, same for me. I started with computers, then horticulture, now retail practice. Oh, in fairness, really, in the back, we all have a dream job in the back of the heads, but some of them are just unrealistic, but they're not. If you enjoy something, you should go for it. You should always go for your dreams, even if it's like, oh, I want to be a doctor. It's going to be 8 years of college, 12 years even, but if you want it, you're going to do it.
Yeah.
And you're going to love every second. I'd love to be a full-time writer. It's not going to happen right now. Stone Cold Steve Austin once said in a documentary, and it's been the most poignant thing I've ever heard anyone's ever said. He said, Don't sit there and wait for life to come to you. You go out and grab life, and I've always lived by that thing. You can't just sit in your room and hope for things to come and fall in your lap. You had to go out and grab it. So I write all the time to improve my craft, and story time will be coming soon to my channel.
But on that note, we've unfortunately run out of time before we start plugging anyone's channels.
I didn't even think you had the timer on.
Yeah, I did. I've got it on.
But we'd like to hear if you have any problems, things you've had to deal with before, even like.
If you have any experience with mental illness, leave it in the comments below, is what Kev meant to say.
So with that note, I have been HOTHEMAN and HOTHEMAN, and I have been joined by my lovely EarthToLydia. Till next time, take care. Goodbye.
See ya!